each, yeah? Do we want them at the end or at the beginning? Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. Can you hear me? Hopefully, yes. I'm not that important. These ones are actually the important ones today. That hopefully you're able to hear. My name is Monica Breathe, and I'm the founder of Rejuvenate Movement. Based in central London, yoga teacher. We do yoga, we do coaching, and we do this wonderful thing that is called sound healing. I'll tell you a little bit more of the story about these babies here around me, which actually are pretty old. We don't really know how old they are, but I can tell you these are almost 200 years old. And they're coming from quite far from Tibet. But before we get into that, let's talk a bit more about the workshop itself, the title, which is Regenerative Culture. Right now I have the honor to represent Extinction Rebellion and be leading this workshop here by Byline Festival. And in a way, one of the reasons why I do this work and one of the reasons I share what I share is because of my own journey and kind of how I see that, how that has helped me and how that can also help others, and overall how we can make change and how we can make a difference with that transformational process. My colleague Anna, by the way, before I forget, she's handing some, thank you Anna, you're lovely, some feedback forms for you to fill up at the end of the session if you feel like it, things that you like, things that you don't like. We really appreciate your opinion and your thoughts, and also some information about me and what I do in case that you want to stay in touch. So, who has heard about regenerative culture before? Yes, thank you. The rest of us don't really have a clue about what it is. That's fine, because the way that I usually conduct workshops is very, it's like an exploration, it's a journey. So let's actually find out what that means. If we actually just go to the references, some might say that regeneration involves an internal process of recharging, reconnecting, building resilience, but at the same time, that internal process has a projection and an effect in the outside world. In the context of Extinction Rebellion and what's happening in the planet, probably most of you have heard what's happening in the Amazonia these days, which is absolutely heartbreaking. And I consider myself a person that is connected with the energies and with the subtle energies, and the thought, the intention, the best wishes are always very necessary, because those are the ones that become and are purpose of the action. So from all of that, then action is generated and it takes place. But there are moments like today, like what's happening around us, that needs more action beyond the words and beyond our best wishes. And that's, to me, what regeneration means, is that it's going a step ahead of sustainability. We can try and recycle, we can try and, consume less meat or be vegan or whatever choices we have, and can be mindful and more aware. But at the end, it is through this process of reconnecting with our inner voices, with our inner wisdom, with our inner nature, that is projected and outsourced and kind of pushed back into our environment and the context. And it's then when we become more aware, more respectful, and more appreciative of what we have around us, what we have within us. And this is pretty much my own journey. I used to work in the corporate world for many years, rushing, fight or flight, never time for anything, always feeling that it wasn't enough. And that's pretty much the values that we're living in the modern society, right? It's about I've accomplished all those things, but it feels that it's not enough, it feels that I need to do more. There's this value of scarcity and fear of scarcity. It's like, yeah, we're kind of running out of time, running out of things, and I need to fight because there's not enough for anyone. And I have found that through this reconnection with oneself, one starts opening the gates and kind of there's an unfolding path to this abundance and these endless possibilities that live in this wonderful inner garden inside of us, that ultimately are our inner nature that have this connection with the outer nature. So once we start practicing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we can do that through the practice of gratitude, through the practice of being appreciative of the things that we have, instead of stressing and putting the attention to the things that we don't have. Oh yeah, I would like to be 5 pounds thinner, or I would like to run this marathon, I would like that house, I would like that car. Well, actually look at the things that we do have already, and the people that we do have in our lives, and the qualities that we have within ourselves. I mean, in a way, we are all here for a purpose. That's at least how I see, and that's actually what I can talk about. I can talk about my experience and how I see the world, because as you know, everyone is wearing their own glasses and their own perceptions, and they see things in their own way. And there's not right or wrong. It's just the way that it is. But it is through these shifts when we start thinking, okay, it's not the scarcity, it's not that it's missing, it's not that I'm enough, but actually there's a lot within me, there's a lot of value, I can see myself, I can appreciate myself, that then that inner work, that appreciation, that abundance, that inner garden that is being watered and is being looked after and reconnecting with our voice brings the magic in the outer world. And the thing will be, especially for mindfulness teachers like myself, or people that work in kind of the spiritual realm and kind of the energy realm, how we can actually just put that into practice, or kind of how can, in a way, us, which are like a little bit metaphysical, a little bit subtle, become more practical. Because sometimes, and I have a lot of my students and clients that they are kind of coming from the corporate world, or they kind of, like, all of this is great, but how can I actually just implement that in my normal life? Well, it's something very easy. I'm sure that all of us have suffered from insomnia, from stress, from feeling burnt out, from feeling unhappy, for feeling that something was missing. The moment that you stop, the moment that you focus, and kind of whether it's through meditation, whether through the samba that we're going to be doing today here, or any practice that brings the silence, that quiets the mind, that allows you to reconnect with that, is that where that shift happens. So for some people it might mean balancing the chakras, might mean reconnecting with a higher self, with God, with the universe, with life force, whatever you want to call it. But after all, and ultimately this is about us living in this dimension, living in this planet, living in this world with these bodies. So it means feeling calmer, it means being more appreciative, it means also taking action into preserving and making things better and raising awareness. So when you become more appreciative of yourself, what you have, what you are offering to the world, then you realize that without that world you wouldn't be existing equally. Then is when movements like Extinction Rebellion make a lot of sense, saying, okay, I still have that intention, I still have that inner work, I still have all these, I'm cultivating this inner garden, but at the same time, I'm willing to take that out, raising awareness, and make this place a better world. But after all, if we want to implement the change outside, we need to lead that change from inside. We need to lead by example. So, and a lot of the times, and I kind of find out with myself a lot of the time that, I might be a meditation teacher, a mindfulness teacher, but I'm also human. And I also get pissed off sometimes, and I also lose my patience sometimes. It's just like, oh my God, all these years of study, what are they for, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. But because of this inner work, you have this mechanism where you kind of are able to retract and reconnect with that compassionate self, with that compassion, with that collaborative feeling that all in all, we're kind of in this together, right? I mean, we might look different, shape, color, faces, hair, whatever it is, but I'm sure that if you are around here, some of these messages that I'm sharing with you resonate a little bit about, let's actually try to help each other a little bit more, let's try to be more collaborative, let's try to be a little bit more conscientious with the actions that we take. And all of that starts with ourselves, first and foremost. I know that this culture of scarcity, this culture of something is missing, I'm not enough, also tell us sometimes that spending time with ourselves is selfish. And the meaning of selfishness, something negative. But I always share this example with my students, which might sound a little bit silly, but actually is very true. So imagine that you are drowning in the middle of the ocean, and then there's someone next to you asking for help. Unless you stabilize your position, and unless you're able to keep yourself up, outside the water, buoyant, keeping buoyancy, if you try to help the other person, the only thing you're going to do is actually drown that person down, right? So, and this is something that sometimes we don't really think about properly in the way that we are givers, our value is, the value that we have in society is about how much we produce or how much do we give away and how much in return we get the money back, right? Is that, but what about the difference that I'm making in other people's lives? What about my neighborhood? What about my family? What about my friends? So everything starts from that. And I feel that I have spoken enough in the way that I wanted to introduce you a bit what regeneration and how we could regenerate through healing, through sound baths, through some inner work practices, whether they are, as I said, meditation, they are yoga, some people like to do journaling, they like to run, whatever that is actually works for you. But having that inner time on a daily basis, even if it's just 5 minutes, I mean, sometimes we have kids, we have busy lives, we have jobs, and it's really difficult, but 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, a bit of meditation, a bit of gratitude practice, is that what am I grateful for? And acknowledging all those bits that are the things that are already within you, trust me, it's going to completely shift your perception within yourself, but also the perception outside yourself. Having said that, and having kind of said that as an introduction, let me now introduce you these wonderful 14 ancient Tibetan bowls. They're very friendly, so after the session, if you feel like coming to stage and kind of play with them around, feel free. As I say, they're coming from Tibet. They are approximately around 150 to 100 years old. They have been curated and kind of put together gradually, so they didn't come as a whole lot. Brief story about that. When China invaded Tibet, they actually were seeking for all these materials because they are made of 11 precious metals, including gold, including silver. So a lot of people hide them, a lot of people were using them. I mean, if you actually come closer later, you're going to see that they have been a little bit, not really damaged, but you're going to see some bumps because people have actually used them for cooking. Kind of they didn't really see the value that they had. But kind of one of my spiritual teachers brought them to me while I was living in Singapore or living in Asia, and then I decided to bring them to the UK. The big balls that you see here, there are 7, and they are organized by chakras. Everyone resonates with a specific node and with a specific chakra. And I'm going to be playing them around in different sequences. The small ones are still 11 metals, more about dressing it up. So how this is going to work is I will be asking you to lie down, to close your eyes. In a comfortable position, you might want to keep your knees bent. You might want to kind of shuffle around because we're going to take at least 40 minutes with the sound bath. We have all the mics here that are going to be able to expand the vibrations and the sound. And different people have different experiences. So sometimes you might see colors, you might have sensations in your body or not at all. So not really have. I will encourage you to have no expectation. Really, kind of coming with an open heart, with an open mind, and allow them to do their work. The magic of sound healing and the vibration that they have, they work on the subtle body, and they work on the deep tissue and on the subconscious. So not just is working on physical elements, physical issues that we might actually having, but also on the subtle and energetic body. So having said all of that and having introduced them all to you, now it's time for you to enjoy, lying down. You can wiggle around and kind of just see what is the most comfortable position for you. Palms, your hands might actually, let's actually start with a bit of a grounding and meditation before we start. So having your eyes closed and arms are by your sides, whether your knees are bent or your legs are fully extended. I invite you to bring your hands, one on your tummy and the other one on your chest. Either way, right or left, whichever feels right for you. And with your eyes closed, start tuning into your breath. Start envisioning and feeling that flow of the inhalation and the exhalation. As you inhale, you feel that your tummy and then your chest, your air travels all the way up through the collarbones, bringing possibilities, bringing expansion. Your rib cage expands and grows. Your spine grows taller. And as you start exhaling, that air, that prana, as the yogis call it, life force, travels all the way back from the collarbones to the chest, to the tummy, sinking through your sitting bones, grounding you even deeper towards the ground. And continuing into that flow of the inhalation and the exhalation, bringing the attention to that movement in the upper body. We're doing this so you can focus. We can give a task to the mind, so the mind doesn't get distracted with the sounds or whatever is going on, or any thoughts. That's why the work of the breath and how the breath works as an anchor, guiding us through this journey towards our inner wisdom, towards our inner voice, our inner nature. Noticing how with your hands they keep rising, they keep diving in. And the quality of your breath, whether it's shallow, whether it's short or it's deep. Wonderful that we have this amazing environment and we are able to practice on the grass, on the soil, on earth. It's going to be bringing more grounding energies. So as you keep tuning into that breath, into that breathing of possibilities, expanding and releasing as you exhale, I will start playing the balls. You might want to leave your hands where they are, or you might want to extend them by your side with the palms facing up, whichever. Option works for you. Deepening your breath. Wiggle your toes, your fingers. Not really rushing, just allowing the body organically and naturally coming back to this space, to this wonderful park. Friday afternoon. Perhaps going for a nice stretch. Do you feel like it? You want to bring your knees to chairs and rock side to side. If the lower back feels a bit tender, you know, finding your way up to seated. Once you're ready, let's just not rush. How was it? You enjoyed it? I'm very glad. I'm just conscious of time. I know that we started a little bit late, but I'm also aware that we have more artists coming up. We have time for a couple of questions. If you have any questions about the bowls or about what you have experienced, I'm going to be around later if you want to do something, if you want to have a conversation privately in terms of what you have felt, you have seen, you have noticed, you have sensed. I'm sure that there's plenty going on. What I recommend, especially because it's a very sunny day, it's very hot, for you to take it easy, at least for the next couple of hours. Drink plenty of water, even if it doesn't seem like how deep the sound and the vibrations and the healing work of these little guys here is actually tremendous. So be mindful with yourself, be gentle with yourself, drink plenty of water, take it easy, and again, probably in a couple of hours going to be some rock music out there or something interesting, so we can just have a beer and kind of shake that off. But at least for now, for these couple of hours, my recommendation would be for you to take it easy. And again, my name is Monica Reed. I'm the founder of Engineering Movement. We have some... Sorry?
And you should probably stay in the shade.
Yes, that's a great suggestion. Thank you very much for adding that. As the wise woman said there, stay in the shade. Sunglasses, sunblock. Any questions before we wrap up? Or anyone that wants to share their experience, how they felt? No? That's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for your time, for having come with an open mind and an open heart. And I'll see you around. I hope you had a great festival ahead. There's plenty of conversations and workshops and music going on until Monday. So see you around. Thank you. Namaste.